I see OPTA talking. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to the One Perspective to Another podcast. I'm your humble and gracious host, A. Sanders, here with episode 186. This is a podcast titled, I don't even know how to say the name, but what did I call it? Damn, we already fucking up. Dunning-Kruger effect, however you pronounce it. But welcome in another episode. Got my tea ready. This is gonna be a good episode just because I feel really in tune with it. A lot of things just coming to the light. Always, like I say, unbiased learning, situational awareness, all that good jazz. Just refocusing and just continuing just a notion of just enlightenment, betterment, learning unbiasedly. But this episode is about the Dunning-Kruger effect. But keeping it evergreen, but not so much. Shout out to Kendrick. We might keep Kendrick, putting the world on notice, keeping Kendrick on this episode. I mean, not on this episode, but on the intro until the next Marvel movie come out. I think I'm making that official right now. Because it's just such a phenomenal song. Love it. And it's just the intro, no words. So hopefully we don't get flagged. If we do, whatever. But he said he was keeping that stuff off of copyright. So we'll see with that. But 1,000% stole this from Neil deGrasse Tyson talking to Terrence Howard about his thesis. But in understanding the Dunning-Kruger effect, it led me to see what the fuck it was, because I didn't know what the fuck it was. But him explaining it, you got to break shit down. But it's in that same notion of breaking shit down. When you learn something new, there's the peak of enthusiasm. I wish this could be visual so I could show this, but there's a bar graph and there's a peak of enthusiasm and your confidence. Your confidence is low. You're learning something new. For me, those things as of late have been about just more studying of emotional intelligence, more studying of situations, rationalizing your emotions versus your logical side, left brain, right brain kind of stuff. Stock market stuff, learning a lot in the stock market. Started doing that this week, made $37, and then I only made 37 cents at the end of the week. It's fickle. It's fucking fickle. But I like it because I'm learning. And there's the peak of enthusiasm. And you're in different areas in life in a lot of these shits. Even my podcast, for example. But let me get through the rest of it. And I'll do the examples, because that's how I feel like these have been going on. But like I say, there's your confidence. You can have low confidence. You can have high confidence. When you learn something new, you're going to have a low confidence in something. Then when you get your enthusiasm, your confidence is going to be high because you're learning something new. It's something that you like. It's interesting. It tickles your funny bone. And that's been me with this podcast. That's me with droning. That's me with learning about flying drones, just fucking twirling that shit up in the sky to fucking doing tilt the world, flying at 60 miles an hour, just lollygagging. Then you get to the valley of despair, when I fucking put my drone into the fucking tree because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Then you get to this part where it's a slope of enlightenment, where you actually learn about the different techniques and different gadgets and shit that you can use, and you can start working and getting paid to do it and shooting stuff for people's movies and being a part of somebody's budget and having apps where you can do agricultural work, the whole 9 yards. And then that's where you get to the plateau of sustainability, and that's that end game where you can become a certified FAA pilot and get your money doing drone shit. And you can apply that to anything that you're doing. With me in these stocks, I was in the peak of enthusiasm this time, or not this time, but this time 2 years ago when the pandemic hit, I wanted to learn about everybody was doing stocks. It was the boom. I was in the peak of enthusiasm, and then I put $500 into some shit, and I lost all that shit. It was a valley of despair because I didn't really know what the fuck I was doing. I was just like, oh, this shit's going up, this shit going up, whatever, buy that, it'll go up. Then I feel like now I'm in my slope of enlightenment 2 years later because I finally understand where terms come from, how to read candles, how to be proactive and interactive with the environment to be able to predict. I don't want to say predict because it's not a perfect science where if it was, then everybody would do it, but everybody doesn't. But you are giving yourself a better opportunity to understand what is presented in front of you. That is my slope of enlightenment when it comes to the stocks right now. Then hopefully I can get into the plateau of sustainability to do the little, or what I want to do is just be able to get up 6 o'clock, get your little pump in, do whatever, get your coffee, and just not work, but like do the market for 2 hours, get a little $50 here, $100 there, and go on about my day, going to regular work to work on this more. So it's like, I want that to continue. I want to get to that plateau of sustainability, and then not hindsight, but like full focus or outward focus, camera panning out. Like, I feel like I'm in my own life's slope of enlightenment, because there has not been more pure enjoyment, enthusiasm of me learning new things that interest me, that give me a, I don't want to say sense of value, but like that have aided me in continuing my process of being a better person mentally, physically, financially, spiritually. Like whatever I'm doing right now in these 30 years is where I'm at right now with my slope of enlightenment. My valley of despair was like being in a shitty place and not knowing what to do and not knowing where things are going to come from and not understanding the world. But this slope of enlightenment and this Dunning-Kruger effect, where I am now, is like, it's really enlightenment, because you just see shit you never saw before. Maybe it's just a part of getting older. You know, people get opportunities knock. You get the chance to experience life, to do things, to experience things. And I think it's just a part of living life and part of growing that has really aided me in these discoveries and conversations, whatever it may be. But yeah, because I wanted to add another thing to this list with the Dunning-Kruger effect. I'm butchering that shit, but it is what it is. But I also feel like that's the 10,000 hour thing. And somebody sent me an article today talking about the generation below 24 to 30-year-olds are called NEETs now, and they don't want to do shit. And it reminded me of like that 10,000 hour process. There's a 10,000 hour process that everybody's doing or attempting to do, but it's like, I just feel like vintage, or how things become vintage, hard work, and not even hard work, because I don't know, people going to be like, you got to work 20 hours a day and only sleep. But hard work and just mastering whatever your craft is, or doing whatever you love with like genuine gratitude, emotional, and time spent, like that kind of shit is going to become vintage, because nobody is going to know what the recipe is to be authentic to what you are doing, to be authentic to whatever you want to create, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a businessman, whether you flipping houses, whether you traveling around the world, whether you fucking sponsoring somebody, protecting somebody, a father, a mother, whatever it may be. And that 10,000 hours, you're going to get to your, your Dunning-Kruger effect, and you're going to get your enthusiasm, you're going to have your low points, and you're going to start to coast. And when that vintageness of time spent like comes into the light, I don't know, maybe it might be in like 20 years or something, but there's going to be a market for people who don't know how to do shit. Like in my mind, me personally, it makes zero sense why people can't. Like, I know there's the things that you don't want to do, and you're entitled to do what you don't want to do. But even if you don't want to do it, you can still know how to do it. And people don't even invest the time into being able to learn how to do it. There's not a new thing, but like the shift is, I feel like how I used encyclopedias. I done done a podcast about that before, like going from encyclopedias to books to the internet to Encarta to Ask Jeeves to Google to YouTube to social media. Like these kids nowadays, they don't even use any of those things, but like being proficient at using TikTok and ChatGPT as their like how to, and learning how to become whatever it is that they want to be, whatever it is that they want to see, whatever it is they want to do. Like that is a super leg up, and the kids don't even want to do that. But I mean, I get it. You all got to learn. We all got to have your time as a kid. Because like me, I'm in my mid-30s, and I never would have thought about all the things that I've learned now that I've been learning about. I feel like I've learned more educating myself than I've learned in fucking 20 years of school. I mean, yeah, easily. Because I don't even write anymore. We spent 5 years fucking doing handwriting in cursive. Don't even use it. But that's another topic. But I feel like how you learn and how you communicate those things with yourself or yourself is vital. It's key. It's a reminder that we have to give a little bit of our effort to something, whether it's fucking taking pictures or swimming in the fucking ocean, whatever it is. And it just made me really think about how everything had this own Dunning-Kruger effect to life, because you're always going to get enthusiastic about something. You're always going to get humbled by somebody who actually does X, Y, and Z to teach you. Or maybe you're creating something of your own and you don't even go through the valley of despair. You just go from peak of enthusiasm to not being recognized because people think you crazy or you don't have the right kind of idea and they don't like it. But like eventually people are going to have to recognize whatever your percentage of crazy is, because it's going to apply to some sort of system, or it's going to help somebody, or it's going to provide some type of value to somebody. Then you can make that shit sustainable. Like everything even my own podcast and going back and like this Dunning-Kruger effect, I don't even know what it's called, but the Chinese stuff where you got to have the things you love, your passion, and your focus, and in the middle is your purpose. It's just like me connecting all the dots in order to relate to one another of what I've been experiencing myself. That's why I always say sometimes these things just be diaries, sometimes they be experiences, sometimes they're not, or sometimes they're just what they are. It's me in the process of these things or whatever this effect is. Because like I say, I'm trying to learn unbiasedly. I'm trying to maximize my thought process to these things, because it's different levels of entry to wherever you are in life, wherever you feel that you are, wherever you may be. Like I don't want to say but like a lot of people say like it's always too late or you never can. I used to tell one of my exes all the time, like, it's not that you can't do something. It's just that you have to do something a little bit different to get where you got to go. And like seeing that way more as an adult is, I don't want to say liberating. I need another word for liberating, but it's just beautiful to see that you don't have to do things the way things were intended in order to get to whatever your destination is. And then my last point on this was like, especially with the stocks and making money, and Kendrick Lamar's, I guess, little ad in between his little concert. Shout out to his concert, too. That shit was fire. I don't know if I created it, but I thought of this quote because The original quote is, money don't grow on trees. Everybody used to tell you that. Your mama used to tell me that. Specifically, my grandma used to tell me that every time I asked for $5 to go to the corner store. But being where I am now in my life, money doesn't grow on trees, but money does grow slow like a tree. And I say that because there is nothing that I personally know that I've mastered more than patience. Patience is something that has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember, because I always had to wait, or I always had to get X, Y, and Z to get to A, B, and C. Like, there has never been a moment where I could just go and get until now. And that's where I come with this, like, Dunning-Kruger effect on the startup, because I'm in that plateau of sustainability. If I want it, I can do it now. There's nothing that's stopping me. And I feel like that's a place where I had personally a lot of frustration in not being able to control the intangibles that were hindering me from getting to where I want to go or doing whatever I wanted to do. And now that I can, and I've put this all full circle to go back to the money thing, and money doesn't grow on trees, but money grows slow like a tree, because there's no such thing as a quick lick that you can do multiple times. It's only when you slow down enough and realize that money is a trickle effect. Profit is profit, whether it's a cent or $1, $1 million, 100,000. It's a trickle effect. And everybody thinks, oh, you see all this shit on social media, make $100,000 in a year, make $500 a day, make whatever the shit may be. But there is no greater money than constant money, consistent money, whether it's 5 cents or it's 10 cents. And it's just been a great reminder to myself to see that. Because when you look at a tree, you don't see anything going. But the tree is the money. But if you go on the macro and the micro and see that it's things inside of the trees moving, it's the root system underneath the tree that's sending the water to the leaves on the tree. But you don't see that until you get real close. Or you put on a camera and you watch a tree slowly move itself up to see the light, or a plant slowly move itself up to sprout its flowers. It's the process that we ignore because we don't take the time to slow down to realize that good things that last take time. Because money do grow like a tree. Money do grow on trees if you take your time with it. So with that being said, I just thought like that, this whole epiphany inside of my head just went boom for this Dunning-Kruger effect and being where I am. And I'm not at the end on all of them. Like, I'm in some peaks of enthusiasm, low points, value, despair. I'm like at different areas of all these, the effect in different areas of my life. But the one where I'm the most sustainable is in the process of understanding that I'm in those different places, if that makes sense. But I just had to say that aloud and get it out, because it makes perfect sense. And it's just enlightening. It's a freeing feeling to understand where you are in different volumes of your life. But on that note, I think that's all I got. As always, tell two friends to tell two friends. Thank you for listening. And as always, it's just my perspective. And on that note, I will catch you on the flip side. And I am out.